guys, it's Jen, and today we get to look at Mists of Pandaria Beta Stormstout Brewery Dungeon. So let's get right into it, shall we? So if you guys remember back to Warcraft 3, we first met Chen Stormstout. This is actually his family's brewery, and once he returns, he kind of finds that his Uncle Gao has taken over the brewery and has let like Hosen, Vermin, and the brew gone wrong elementals get a bit out of control and overrun things. The Hosen are actually the first type of trash that we're going to come across. And what it looks like you need to do is you'll see a status bar appear and it fills up for every Hosen that you kill. What you're trying to do is you're basically killing the drunken partying monkeys until you pull the boss. And his name is Ukuk. I'm going to let you guys check out this trash for a moment and we'll pull the boss. Alright, so once you kill enough of the Hosen, Ukuk isn't very happy that you're ruining his party. So he comes out, and here are some of the abilities that he actually is going to do to you. The first one we have is Ground Pound, and what it is he pounds the ground every second for 3 seconds, inflicting 20,000 physical damage to all enemies within a 45-degree cone, and also stuns you for 2 seconds if you get in that. So the tank is definitely going to want to have Ukuk face away, and then as well, you're going to kind of want to watch your surroundings to make sure you're not caught in front of him. The second ability that he has is called Going Bananas, and that is when he reaches 90, 60, and also 30% health, he goes bananas, which increases his attack speed by 15% and his damage dealt by 15%. This will stack up to 3 times, and then it also causes an influx of rolling barrels. Which comes to the third ability. So Ukuk's entourage that you'll see kind of up above in the rafters periodically throws rolling barrels. These will roll across the room until they hit the wall, a player, or Ukuk himself. This is kind of the important part. If you want to actually jump on the barrels, you can steer them to Ukuk, and they will actually inflict 10,000 physical damage to him and also increase the damage taken by 10% for 15 seconds. So if you have like a DPS maybe doing that here and there, it's really going to help defeat him. If they hit you though, watch out because they'll do about 50,000 physical damage. The next set of trash that we come across are the vermin, and there's 3 different types that you guys need to be aware of. The first ones are the hoplings, and they're just really tiny vermin. They don't really do much other than just bite you. They just do regular damage. The second type, they are called hoppers, and these are the larger vermin that carry barrels of explosive brew in their mouths. You have to be kind of careful with these guys because if they reach you, they'll hop around madly before exploding, which inflicts 30,000 fire damage within a 10-yard range, and it will knock you down. The last one that you guys see are the boppers, and they carry a really big heavy hammer. What this hammer does is you could pick it up and you'll gain 3 charges of a smash ability. You can do this to kill the hoplings and the hoppers, but the boppers might take a couple hits to kill. Here we see the second boss called Hoptallus. He also does 3 different abilities. The first one being Carrot Breath. Hoptallus slowly turns in a circle that spews vile carrot juice. Gross. It inflicts 30,000 physical damage and it knocks you back. The next one is called Whirlwind, and it's basically Hoptallus has a whirlwind ability. It will inflict 30,000 damage every second to surrounding units and knock them back. It slows his movement speed by 70%, so he's really easy to kind of dodge around to make sure you don't get that. His last ability is called a Shrill Screech, and Hoptallus will periodically emit a shrill cry, calling for aid from the hoplings, hoppers, and bouncers. You're going to watch out for those guys as well. Use those hammers to DPS them down, or make sure you have some people who have really good AoE. The last set of trash that we come across are the elementals. These guys, you guys, they are adorable looking, honestly. I wish, like, I really hope that there's a pet that you can get of an elemental because they're just adorable. These elementals actually have abilities that'll give you glimpses into the boss's abilities that you'll be facing. Some of them being bubble shields, there is blackouts, and sudsy silences. So kind of like look for those and see how you're able to defeat those abilities, because that'll actually help with this last boss that we're gonna face. Alright, Yan-Zhu the Uncasked is the last boss that we come across, and he is a creation of Chen's Uncle Gao. He's a crazy guy. What you guys want to be aware is if there isn't a tank or somebody in range of Yan-Zhu, he will begin casting Brew Bolts, which will inflict 30,000 frost damage and also increase magical damage taken by that target for 6 seconds. What it looks like is Uncle Zhao kind of does some crazy experiments through this, and it's kind of set up in 3 phases. You usually with each phase have one of these 2 options that happens. The first one is called Bloat, and it causes a target to gush brew from their ears for 30 seconds. What this also does is it inflicts 20,000 physical damage to and knocks a target back in a 10-degree cone on either side of that bloated player. The next one you have is Blackout Brew. It's a heavy brew that inflicts 10,000 frost damage to all players, and it also applies 3 stacks of the Blackout Brew debuff. This will be removed if you move or jump, and then also if it reaches 10 stacks, the player will be stunned for 10 seconds. At 75%, you'll receive one of another 2 abilities. The first one being Bubble Shield, which Yan-Zhu covers himself with 8 small bubbles. It's really easy to AoE these down, and you're going to want to do that because every bubble gives him a 10% damage reduction. The second ability he has is called Yeasty Brew, and what it does is he will summon forth Yeasty Brew elementals to aid him, and they actually cast a spell called Ferment, which will restore 1% health and mana every second. The good thing is if you just stand in the line of the Ferment, you will actually receive that buff. Or you could just DPS down those elementals quickly, and then that way you don't really have to worry about where you're standing. At 50% health, you will receive one of these 2 abilities again. The first one is called Carbonation, and what happens is Yan-Zhu will fill the room with carbonation for 20 seconds, which will inflict 1,000 frost damage every second to enemies that are close to the ground. It will also prevent you from performing any actions due to acute asphyxiation. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to pick up another item that's going to be dropped around the room called Fizzy Bubbles. And these will grant you the ability to fly for 20 seconds. So thus you're avoiding any kind of like not being able to deal damage or anything. The second part of the abilities that you could receive is Wall of Suds, and what it looks like is Yan-Zhu will periodically summon forth walls of sudsy brew, which will inflict 10,000 frost damage every half second when you stand in the wall. It also stuns you for 5 seconds, so that's not very nice. You do receive a buff called Sudsy, which will grant you the ability to jump extra high to be able to jump over those walls of suds. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.